Hey everyone, welcome back to the Guided Programming Coaching Call. First question up for this week says, regarding upper body training, mainly the bench, the volume and the repeat sets. I notice every time I get repeat sets in my training, I'm not able to finish the workouts as planned without dropping the weights by at least 7.5 to 15%. For example, this week my training protocol had bench on day 1 with 3 repeats, close grip, with 1 load drop. Day 2 had 3 count pause bench with 3 repeats. And my third day of training, I got to bench again, but I had to skip the harder sets because my elbow and arms hurt so much that I could barely hold any weight above 80% in my hands. I noticed this in my last training block as well. Track tells me that my long-term fatigue is slightly high, 4.6, and my progress on the bench is really inconsistent as well. Sometimes I get a good day and hit a PR, only to get totally crushed in the following bench workout. Squat and deadlift progress is fine. I got the feeling that benching heavy 4 times a week is simply too much for me to recover from. Any advice on my situation would be really appreciated. I tend to agree with you that, from the sound of things, it's just too much workload on your bench. Now, normally we would start removing workload from the supplemental exercises first, but given the situation, given the physical effects of the training, the fact that your elbows are sore, and that you're getting such wild swings in performance, I would actually tend to leave the supplemental work in there for a little bit, and let's start by cutting out that second bench session. And then let's also cut out any sessions where you have 2 flat pressing movements. Let's cut out the second pressing movement. Okay, so if you have bench and military press, that's fine. But if you have bench and then close grip bench, let's cut out the second close grip bench. Okay, so this isn't a change that will show up in your weekly training plan, but this is a manual change that you'll need to make to your training. What this is intended to do is to get the overall workload back down, back under control. And then from there, you'll be able to recover better and have more consistent performances. Now, what we expect to see at that point is that first, your fatigue will come down, and that will take a little bit to work into the long-term fatigue score in track, but it will get there. Now, as that fatigue comes down, we expect to see more consistent performances on the bench. And then especially the competition bench, when you look at your competition progress page, we want to see an overall trend of improvement. So when you're looking at that 1 month or 3 month trend line, we want to see an overall trend of improvement. And if you've got that, then, we're happy. But if you're still getting these wild swings, if your elbows are not feeling better, then let me know. Now, if you cut out 2 of those movement slots, that's a pretty significant change. It's a pretty significant reduction to your bench workout. So I'd be surprised if it didn't have some physical effects. If you weren't able to notice that, your joints actually do feel better, I would be surprised. But in the off chance that that's true, let me know and we'll kind of try to reattack this from a different perspective, maybe looking at squat technique and things like that. Because that can sometimes have an effect on joint inflammation and stuff. So let's start there and see if we can get a more consistent bench performance, and ideally a more consistent bench performance with a positive trend line, and then we'll continue to make modifications as needed.